Well, since Acolyte is out, everyone is talking about how bad it is. I asked myself an important question: what exactly is a bad piece of media? First of all, it doesn't make any logical sense. It doesn't follow the rules of its own universe. It doesn't have good characters. They're very boring. They don't have any development. The dialogues are boring and cringe. There's a lot of plot conveniences, plot armors. Well, that's about it. And most importantly, the plot and the characters are not the main focus. And that's a problem that I see in most pieces of media today. Piece of fiction, I mean. And that is what makes people hate woke media. So these days, all the critics I see, most critics that I see criticizing these movies, shows, they blame wokeness for it. And that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Because I think a woke show can be done right. A best example of it is Arcane, which has all the representation tick boxes that you can think of. But at the same time, because that's not the focus of the story, it's still a masterpiece. Whereas conservative media, for example, the one created by Daily Wire, is absolute garbage. It's dog shit. Because, again, the pandering is the focus of the story. Now, this time it's the conservative pandering, but point is, it's still equally cringe. But I don't know where this ideology came from that liberal is political and conservative is apolitical, because both are equally political to me. And they ruin the story. Like, if I wanted to be preached, I would go to a sermon. I wouldn't go to watch a movie in the theater or binge watch Netflix. I want to be entertained. I don't want to be preached. And both sides can do it. Both sides of the spectrum can do it. And that's my problem with most conservative critics, critics these days. What they do is that instead of providing valid criticism about why a piece of media is bad, they immediately go to the woke parts and why they hated them. And that actually is a very big missed opportunity of providing actual criticism. And one thing I noticed is that only have problem with these things. For example, a woman beating up a man twice her size when it happens in a piece of media that they don't like. If it happens in shows like Arcane and Blue Eyed Samurai that they really liked, that time they don't have a problem. They're just fine with it. Also, when it happens with men, for example, men are shown as power fantasies, even without superpowers like John Wick. They managed to kill people with pencils, and a blind guy is able to kill so many men. Without any superpowers, that's fine because that's a power fantasy and that's cool to see. But a woman beating one guy, bigger and stronger than, is unrealistic. Action movies are supposed to be unrealistic. That's not the point as long as it's entertaining. So they don't have any clear cut beliefs. Like, they're kind of grifters. Like, they change their opinions from time to time. They're fine with it in one show or movie, and they're not fine with it in one show movie. Also, it's like they think that everything was good back in the day, whereas there were many things that were not as good. Like, for example, Critical Drinker said that Mulan animated was better and the live action was good. But let's be honest, if Mulan animated came out today, he would have a lot of problems with it. Because Mulan, despite being a woman, managed to do all the things that her male counterparts could not do in the animated version. Not only was he equal to them in the end, she became better. Same way his understanding of One Piece, again, doesn't make any sense. Because he keeps talking about how male characters are never over outsmarted by their female counterpart. And I'm like, no, Nami carries the whole team. Straw Hat Crew, she carries it. She's the one, she keeps beating her male friends every time they annoy her. And that trope was started in Japan. Japan isn't conservative at all. It has a lot of LGBT stuff going on, other stuff. It's especially in One Piece. So you clearly don't know what you're talking about. Well, I think there's a bias these days. If something is shown in Japanese media, it's okay. But if the same thing is shown in Western media, then people think it's woke. Like, for example, Attack on Titan. It literally shows a world where sexism doesn't even exist. Like, no differences between men and women in terms of strength. But that's fine, I guess. They don't have any concrete beliefs. It just keeps changing from time to time. They keep blaming wokeness for instead of actually blaming bad quality writing. I wish they stop doing it because that kind of ruins good criticism. That's what most channels are doing these days. They don't have anything to say. They don't want to use their brain power and they're just like, ah, yeah, this shit is woke. That's it. Okay, how about actually give a nuanced thought about this? But they don't have it.